Hey everybody, welcome to our Zoom meeting tonight. Today is February 20th and we are so excited to be having some guests on our Zoom call. This is a brand new call that we're doing to share with everybody what we are up to with the technology and the scientific breakthrough of ASEA. The supplement, the drink, and also the gel, the Renew 28. Tonight, what I wanted to start with is just to give you a little bit of background for those of you that are brand new with ASEA and how it started. So the first part that I wanted to talk about is, this company came to be because Redox Norton was on the board of this little company that was failing. They had done millions of dollars of research, had this technology that he says they didn't even know what they had. And he had been on this board and decided that he would buy the company. So he got some investors together. They actually purchased all of the company, the technology, the research, and they started developing it. They got Dr. Gary Samuelson on board, who stabilized the technology and was able to get it so that it was stabilized longer than 3 minutes. At first, that's all they could do is just stabilize this 3 minutes. And he got it so that it was stabilized longer than 3 minutes, got it so that they could have this technology taken and put it through the pharmaceutical company. So that's where they ran it very first. They gave it to a few people and just to see if people would drink it because it tastes terrible. So what they wanted to see if people would even drink it. So they got people to drink it, and it was actually changing a lot of people's lives, really helping them with increasing their endurance, their health. So that's when they called the pharmaceutical company, and they were going to just give all of this technology to them. They brought them in. The pharmaceutical company said they wanted them to bring it in from everybody that they had given it to, take everybody off the product, and then they offered them enough money to sustain their families for 4 generations. That is a lot of money to be able to offer somebody. But at that point, they said, well, it's keeping 6 people alive. And they said, well, people die every day. It will be okay. And Redox Norton and all of those that were associated at that point just said, no, go home. We are not going to distribute it that way. So now the way that it is being distributed is through people. So they said no to the money and to the payout and yes to the people. That's why we have this product and we've had this technology for the past 9 years. And I've been a part of it 7 years. And tonight I invited, as our guests, I invited Lauri Jensen and her mom, Marlene Higgs, to be my guests. So let me just tell you a little bit about this technology, and then we will have them share how this has worked in their lives and how meaningful it's been for them. So I just am going to read just a little bit here on about ASEA and how the science works. So simply put, inside the cells of the human body are what's known as mitochondria, the power-producing centers of each cell. And that is where the signaling molecules are messengers that direct thousands of chemical reactions that take place inside and outside of every single one of the cells in our body. And this happens every second. They're also responsible for the communication between neighboring cells, letting all the other cells know the health and well-being of each other. So the signaling molecules carry out instructions signaling when and how the chemical reactions are to take place. As a cell might become diseased or damaged, these signaling molecules are critical in the repair process. They in turn signal the cell's defenses to take action. If the cells cannot fix itself, the signaling molecules enable the destruction of a bad cell and it is replaced by a new healthy cell. This is called apoptosis for those of you that are medical and understand that. Modern researchers can now see deep into the cells of our body, and they are working to map all of their intricate processes. They have also determined that for some reason, as we get older, cells become lazy and do not operate at full power per DNA instruction. These lazy cells begin duplicating rather than purposely destroying themselves as the DNA instructs. So as a result, our immune system weakens, which causes illness and disease to creep in and stay. When we develop chronic pain or symptoms of old age, slow healing and decay, in some cases, some of these cells have uncontrolled growth through this malfunction of signaling. The body is supposed to eliminate these runaway cells. In some cases, it does not, and the cells multiply further and further, eventually resulting in failure of the entire system. So, especially in the past 20 years or so, we have been being informed about antioxidants and how important they are to the human body. But there's another part of that story that we have not been told. It doesn't matter how many antioxidants we put in our bodies. If these signaling agents are not in proper number and in balance, the antioxidants and the immune system can't perform their proper function. So, since it's a common knowledge that good nutrition supplementation should not be overlooked, a new awareness of the importance of these signaling molecules requires a paradigm shift. ASEA, our product and technology, is a product that is not in competition with other nutritional products. ASEA actually works synergistically with all other nutritional products, enabling them to function to their highest level of performance. So we are going to be introducing a new nutritional supplement through ASEA. It's called ASEA Via Core. So stay tuned for some more information on that, but that's going to be coming here really soon, starting March 16th. So that's kind of a little introduction on how the signaling molecules work inside each one of our cells of our body and how important they are. And they actually help flip the switch for those antioxidants that I was just talking about in helping us to stay healthy. So let me introduce Lauri, and now that you understand a little bit, I'll introduce Lauri and her mom. This is Lauri and Marlene. I've got them here with me. And let me tell you, Lauri is the mom of 4 and the grandma of 4. She has been a school bus driver for 19 years. She works with the youth in her church, and she has been with ASEA for 7 years. She's actually a silver executive with ASEA, so we are so happy to have you here. Thanks for being here with us. And we also have her mom, Marlene, who we just love dearly. Marlene is the mom of 4, the grandma of 12, and she has 9 great-grandchildren. She is 100% caregiver right now with her husband. And I know she said, I didn't sign up for this. So it's taken a lot, and we'll talk about that with how she has been using ASEA to help her with that. Marlene has served in her church faithfully all of her life. Her highlight of her life, she says, is her children and her grandchildren. And I know that she is an amazing mom that has just served so many people in our community. And we just want to recognize both of you for being here, and thank you so much. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about, Lauri, how you started with ASEA and what it's done for you. I know that you had a lot of pain in your legs and a lot of problems that you were having because of driving your school bus. And then, you can share how you started sharing it with your mom and your dad.
Well, it goes back 7 years ago, and I had a friend that came up the street and was excited about showing me something new. Are you interested in something new? Can I show you something? And I said, sure. I'm game for something new. And it was Lauri that had just, had heard and felt like this was something that that she wanted to share with me. So that was the step forward with that. I signed up, bought the 4 cases, And I told her, I think I remember saying, if this will help the pains and, the pain in my legs, take out some of the throbbing, I'm all in. I'm sold. And it did. It took about 90 days though. It didn't fill in the tracking sheet like I should have, and but I looked for those signs, and I realized one afternoon I'd come home from doing my work, and I thought, God, my legs they haven't throbbed like they've been doing, and it just was a better overall feeling, and that was kind of that 3-month mark. So I know that that's important when we talk to people and we introduce this. Is we don't know when. I can't tell you it's 10 days. I can't say it's 3 weeks, or because some it'll take longer, or some will recognize it right off. So we don't share it with that idea. At that time, my parents were snowbirds, and they were living in Arizona, and just I knew that they were kind of experiencing some difficulties, especially my father. And so I took my auto ship that was going to come to my house, and I redirected it. It's kind of cool how you can do things. And I redirected it to Arizona, to their house. And I just called and said, hey, Dad, there's a box that'll be coming to your doorstep. Will you look for it and watch for it? And he said, oh, what is this? And when it got there, he called me, and really that was the conversation, was, what is this? I don't want another thing sent here. But it did. It showed up, and I said, I just want you to try it. I want you to look at it. I want you to, read about it, and sent the information to them. So what was his response, Mom? What was his, that case showed up, and
oh no, not something else.
Not something else. And then he tasted it, and then guess what he said? Oh my gosh, this is swamp water. So he always tells his friends, he's drinking from the swamp. It's the swamp water, the pool water. So it's been something we've kind of experimented with in our family as well. I've had situations with my own kids, so they've been drinking it, and my parents started on it, and it was just an excitement for me, because I didn't want to go through some of those things that they tell you to perform with your legs, or I didn't want any more procedures. I just wanted to feel good. And usually when they do procedures, it's usually when you're off in the summer, and I thought, I'm not clogging up my summer to be down repairing, and I just want to feel good. So that's what it did. That's what it really did for me. Besides the energy that I feel, and the accomplishments that I feel like I get through, it hasn't. As I've gotten older, I haven't gotten any less lazy. It seems like you pick up speed, and that's true for all of us. You kind of pick up and you go faster and harder, and this has kind of allowed us to do that. Mom's got a story with my father right now. Before she jumps in there, though, I do have my 85-year-old and 83-year-old in-laws on it as well. So they've been drinking it for 4 years. And it was the case that I knew of my mother-in-law was having some problems, and I talked to her for months. Do you want to look at this, and do you want to hear more about it? And one morning I woke up, and there was just this impression to call your mother-in-law, call her and find out how she's doing. And I made that call that morning, and I said, how's things going? And she was in tears, and she doesn't cry. she does not have feelings like that. And she was bawling, and she said, you bring your stuff and you come down here. And I called Lauri and I said, come with me for a minute. And meanwhile, I'd sent them on their computer some information. I said, to my father-in-law, I want you to read this. I want you to know what we're going to talk about before we get there. So he got right on it and watched some videos. And when we walked in the door, and she was at the point, she said, I don't care anymore. I want it. I'm going to try it. And then we actually opened the bottle and tried to get her to drink it. She goes, oh, I'm going to gag. And I said, you can drink this. It'll be easy. We found too, if that's the situation, straws work, anything kind of works to get it down. And she has never stopped drinking it. And they say that every month that a shipment comes, they say, don't ever let this stop coming. He had an experience where she's kind of got the opposite of what his experience was with bowels. And he said, I felt like what am I got to lose? I don't feel good right now. He said, I'm going to increase this a little bit in my day. And I said, do it, and he now has said, I need 3 cases of this a month. He said, because I'm going to drink more. This is making me feel better. So that they're not running back and forth to the doctor themselves. They feel like they can take this and have their problem solved. So 85, 83-year-olds are happy to have something too, that they're not, checking out, running to the doctor for different things. They know that they can increase this, they can play with it. The Renew is, also something that they use daily. So the mom's got a story with her experiences as well. I'll let her take some time.
Well, we tried it in Phoenix, in Arizona, and I don't mind this taste at all. It doesn't bother me a bit. I just drink it down. I think it's wonderful. Anyway, we have taken it for about 7 years now, and will not do without it. It does help me with my energy, and also I was scheduled for hip surgery the 11th of October. My husband fell on the 3rd of October, and that canceled everything out. I've not had surgery. I have felt okay. I have gotten along. I'm the caregiver for my husband. He has developed some ulcers, which are like bedsores, and not been able to get up and move around. And so I, of course, give him this several times a day. He drinks it. He doesn't balk about it. He says it's fine. And I just feel like that it's really helped. At one point in treating his wounds, I felt like that there could be some infection, and I was worried. So we took him to emergency. They did blood tests and everything, and they said, no, that there's no infection. And I was just appalled, because then I come home and I call Lauri later, and I says, Lauri, I know why there's no infection. ASEA is working. Mm-hmm. Now I'm trying the gel and using it on his wound, and hoping that, and it's going to be a long process. This has been since the end of October that he's had it. And it seems to be helping some, and so I'm continually trying that. We've tried it on so many things. The gel, I burned me really bad one day, and I grabbed my ASEA, put it all over my hand. I didn't have any blistering, no soreness. It was great. It's good for so many things, so many things. I won't stop it.
Well, it's fun because she does share it with her little friends and her neighbors, and they're coming over and saying, yeah, I want a tube of that stuff. I need another tube of that stuff. And so, just in conversations that we carry within our, friends and our associates, it's just, you gain that little bit of, yeah, I've got something for you. You're a drug dealer. You're smuggling or something.
I'm so happy that we get to do that.
It is.
I mean,
fun.
that is so fun.
Yeah.
So I just remember one time that Lauri had shared with us that you were spraying your husband's legs because his legs were jumpy at night.
Yeah, I used the gel.
And you used the gel and rubbed it on his legs, and that helped with the jumpiness.
He has the what do you call it? Anyway, the jumping legs,
the restless
legs syndrome, and it has helped with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and she is like running like crazy, and she said she's celebrating her 60-year class reunion and her 60th anniversary. Yeah, next month. So you're just staying so healthy, and I'm talking to them like you're not even here. You're so healthy, and it's helping you just to stay active, to be able to keep up with everything that you're doing. And ASEA doesn't make any claims to cure, prevent, heal, treat, diagnose anything. We want to make sure that you understand that this just goes in and helps your own body help repair and replace damaged cells. Just like when I was reading that article to you at the beginning, that's what this does. It helps your own body to detect cells that need to be repaired or replaced, and it helps protect your good cells. So I don't know about you guys, but I have not even been sick. I have gotten a little bit of a cold here or there over the last few years, but I have not had any sickness that has been, hard on our family. So I know that you guys had mentioned.
Well, she got the flu like 2 days after Christmas. The grandkids that she loves so much, but she got it wham bam hard. But it seemed like it didn't linger really long and bad either. Yeah. Yeah.
I really contributed to drinking this year.
Yeah.
Because
you can take the ACA, you can even spray it on your hands. It's antibacterial, so it will kill bacteria or viruses within 30 seconds. So we use that as our, instead of antibacterial gel, carrying it around in our purse, I carry a little spray bottle in my purse so I can spray, or a little tube of the renewed gel so that you can put that on your hands and keep that bacteria and those viruses down. That is the number one thing, is you can keep your hands clean.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get sick.
No. And driving a bus, I mean, like I said, and I'm really kind of an anti-flu shot girl, so I haven't had the flu shot in a lot of years. But I do carry that spray bottle in my purse as well. So there's times I just think, I'm just, spraying up everything. So, it's one of those, I don't know, like the Windex thing, at my Greek wedding, but no, I carry my spray. It is the blue bottle. So, no, we love it.
Well, do you guys have anything that comes to mind?
I'm sure there must be, but I can't think.
Well, I just wanted to say that, my grandkids drink this. I have twin grandchildren that and especially the little guy, the little boy, he was in NICU longer than his sister. He stayed longer. So we know that he's got some asthmatic problems and breathing things. And he's one that, his mommy never forgets his ounce of ACEA in the morning. So she splits that 2 ounces between those two kids every morning. And I know it helps them. I've seen, the disruptive child syndromes. And there's sometimes I think, I wish I had a big pouch of that to hand out to one of these kids as they got off my bus. Because there's a few that I think really could, benefit as well from just the balancing that they get from it. And my grandkids have felt that. And I ask them quite often, does your mommy give you your ACEA every morning? And they, yeah, we're drinking it, Grandma. So it makes me feel good that they get something that's native and good for them, that the body knows exactly where to put that and work with them every day too. So I'm happy to have it in my little children, so my little ones.
And you guys have been on it for a long time, so it's nice to have people that have really been taking it for a long time, that gets to see continual benefit over and over and over. And we just invite you, if you have any questions, get with the person that shared this video with you. And if you're finding this without somebody that's invited you here, give us a call. My name is Lauri and Marlene. My phone number is 801-791-0030. So thank you for watching us and sharing this few minutes with us. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Give it a try.